It's loading. And sometimes it goes live sooner than we know. So we may actually be live now.
And how much fun could that be?
Exactly.
Two
So,
nodding heads.
exactly. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this special live that we chose to. Oh, can you hear me, Terry?
Yes, I can.
Yes, wonderful. I had the other side playing. And so I just want to welcome you. Welcome everyone to this somewhat spontaneous live with Dr. Terry Hope. I just thank you so much for accepting this invitation to come on and have this conversation.
So great. It's so great to be here.
And it was interesting, right before we started, we had this short conversation. I'm in Northern California. Dr. Terry Hope is in Toronto, and we're both very warm and enjoying it. So it's a hot sweep through the States. Your weather report. But today we're actually here to share with you a little on this topic. We call it What's Possible When You Stop Holding Back. Both Terry and I were in the recent training in Prague recently for Right Voice for You facilitators. And Terry, I just want to say, during one of the exercises when you went up stage and were being facilitated as you were presenting, but before I go there, I'd like people to know a little something about you, because that's part of what I'm about to share. So before I go there, can you share a little about you?
Um, about me. Let's see. I've been around on the planet for a while and had a lot of time to develop amazing skills and also become aware about my unamazing skills, less than amazing skills. And and it's funny, I started, I'm a scientist, and I also, and I love the curiosity of what science brings. And I also do a lot of presenting in
Mhm.
conferences and things like that. And it's been such an interesting journey because as a scientist, I have put myself into the world of getting judged a lot and overcoming all of that. And I actually was the first person to publish scientific research on this thing called access bars and to do new research that's never been published in the world or not. It's like it's a miraculousness.
I love it. And actually, this is one of the many gifts of you, and why this conversation with you has me really excited, because it's that piece. It's like, when I look at the Right Voice for You tools, I'm like, it's like for everyone. Like, here you're talking about being a scientist, presenting, meeting up against, people's resistance or judgments, and, continue to move forward with something that may be controversial or questioned. Um, and I got to see you present, as you were sharing a short clip of what you might present to a group of us in this training. And there was a level of facilitation. Then at the end, it was like, it's like trying to put words to, someone presents and then someone is there with you.
Yeah.
And that for me was quite magical to receive and see. Would Is there something there that you can share about what that was like for you? Because it's like, yeah, well, let me add this first. So how many, I mean, of you, everyone listening now, and including myself, have bought that we have to portray this image, of who you think you are, how you think you should be. And and that, I mean, I'm speaking from my personal reference as well, that, as I met the Right Voice for You tools, I saw people's images melt, and I was moved to tears. I was inspired, and I thought, that's available. Wow. And it still has people listening, and perhaps even closer and more in depth than they were before. So I love that you're coming on to talk about your experience as a scientist, publishing and presenting and speaking. And I'd love to know what Right Voice for You has contributed to you and having more ease with that?
Kind of miraculous.
Mm,
And miraculous in a way that it's almost indescribable about what it changes because I saw some videos that I did years ago when I first started doing videos like this with people about the scientific research, and I had the image, and I came across it the other day. Oh my gosh, I went, who is that person? Like, who is that person? And even though at the time I thought I was being me and I was being
mm,
the scientist and the perfect scientist, and you have to show up a certain way. And to my world, I was being me,
right.
not realizing the being me and being the scientist. And it's kind of interesting because I presented research to a group of scientists, and their job was to break apart my science.
Yeah.
So to tell me what was wrong with it, how I didn't conduct it properly, and they're all there to listen to your science and be part of it, and then also to, you know, give you questions about how you could do it better. So it's like that was the first one I ever did that was really crazy like that.
Mhm.
And and when I look back on that, I went, that was pretty ballsy.
Uh-huh.
And all of those events, like being that scientist thing, it was terrifying.
Mm,
To me, it was to me it was it exciting? Was it terrifying? It was probably both.
yeah. Yeah. And yet you
Um,
chose it anyways.
yeah, there's not too much that can stop me with
I
anything.
And yet at the same time, there's so many people that are held back and stopped. I was just messaging with this one lady. She just had this beautiful thing she shared that opened up in her world. And I'm like, wow, well, if you ever considered, making a short video of that, let me know. And she was like, oh no, that terrifies me. No, you can use my words, but I won't do a video. And it's many people actually would prefer to perhaps die than to go on stage or on camera. So when you say, yeah, ballsy, courageous, you know, and for me, it's like, wow, there's so many people on the planet that have such a special message or something to share.
Hmm.
And it could be done in so many ways. But for me, it's like, wow, what if we didn't have to hold back with what, you might want to create as a business, or you know, maybe start to bring your art out to the world, whatever it is, your science, what you discover. So I love these tools for that reason. So is there something else there, Terry? Because I had another question too.
Well, no, I was thinking about how I've worked with some people and had said, "Hey, would you like to come and do a live like this?" And I would love to share your experience. And it was exactly that.
Yeah.
And it that I can't, I shouldn't. And they, even though they were terrified, they went forward with it and then, did all of this. Oh my God, can you take the video down? It wasn't perfect. And they, the whole retraction thing. And we judge ourselves more than
Mhm.
the people who are listening to us do, which is the most crazy thing.
Yes. Yes. And I got to say, I have one of my very, very favorite tools. There's many Right Voice for You tools, but there's one of them that I continue to use in just about every interaction, whether it's a video or a conversation. And I would love to know yours, Terry. Like, what is one of the Right Voice for You tools that you find now? You said you watched that video years ago. It's like, what is opened up and changed for you now, and what is one or two tools that contribute to that?
I think, I don't know if it's a right voice for you tool, but I do ask the question, if I was willing to be seen and really be willing to be with people, what would that create? And I do something called drop your barriers
Yeah.
so that there's not this force to push against. I don't know how to describe it, but it's
Yeah.
kind of like we all do this, oh, okay. And we go force field up.
Yes. Yes. And actually, that's my favorite tool. It sounds so simple, and yet, when we're in our heads, when we're thinking, when we're judging, that's that force field up, right? And so that willingness, and if people are watching wherever you may be, just try it and see what changes for you. And it's that sense of bringing that force field down. You don't have to even know what it is, why you have it there, and just ask for it to come down and have it come down more and more and
And
more. Mhm.
yeah. And the funny thing I found about that is like we have this thing and then we realize like, oh, the force field wasn't actually protecting me from anything. And and what I notice is it creates a level of relaxation in your body.
Mhm.
And so when people are doing that thing where they want to be heard or talk or show their artwork or whatever, and it's that anticipation that is the contractedness,
Mhm.
can be contractedness, and the relaxation that comes from dropping your force field, your barriers, whatever, is kind of like all of a sudden you relax and you go, oh, okay, that's fine now.
Yes. And I get too, it's that space of like when you drop your barriers, it's like opening up a window, right? So, there's sometimes, I know like in my place when it's a really hot day and the breeze picks up, I want to open one window, but I also want to open the back window so that breeze can flow through and it doesn't, stop. So it's
Yeah.
that, for me, it's that sense too of dropping our barriers and that willingness to receive everything that's coming to you. It's like you opened up that window and it just can go through you with way more ease instead of beating up against that wall. Um,
Exactly.
because it is, I mean, that I would say is probably what I experienced when I first saw someone on stage through different exercises. But there was one exercise where different people could go up stage, and one gentleman chose to go up on stage and sing and dance. And this gentleman didn't have a lot of ease with his body just in walking. And he stood up there and sang and danced like just unbelievable, just like 110% and let it all go and had so much fun with him and his body. And I just remember going to tears. And I'm like, why am I crying? Like, but I think there was just this vulnerability where he was actually letting us in and he wasn't judging him. And we
Hmm.
could see him underneath all whatever else was there before. And and that moved me to tears, not just at that moment but later that night. And I thought, there's something there that I would like more on the planet. I would love
Yeah.
more of this space that, you as a scientist at one, can share what you're creating, but also with this incredible space of you. Or it might, right? And that's what I get, that Right Voice for You can contribute to so many people. Um, yeah. And even those
Hmm.
one-on-one conversations, I just had a real intense conversation with my son the other day, and I noticed that I was relaxed and the barriers down, like you said. And then I caught myself trying to come up with something to say, but trying to do like the good mom, right mom. And then
Yeah.
it was like, that's that image or whatever and then letting that go and then just listening.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And, when you look at the idea to me, about communication,
Mm-hmm.
most of the communication we do isn't necessarily verbal. Mostly it's not verbal. So when we want to convey something and we're busy doing it in our head, we lack that sense of presence with the other person. And that sense of presence with people is the connection that actually makes the difference to me.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how many people, whether it's a single person or like a ton of people, it's like that being present with them, then the people go, oh, I can hear the person or I can be with that person. Like they're here with me, which is something that seldom happens on the planet, right?
Right. It's interesting. There's TED Talks and there's different things that you can watch, and you can sense that. You can sense almost where like they see me. It's like when you go to those concerts and, you have the artist singing, you're like, oh, he's singing to me. But it is that sense of connection that you're talking about, that you're actually speaking to me and what's in my world. And that's what I get gets created when we drop our barriers and receive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's beautifully
Mm-hmm.
said, Terry. I'm gonna have to clip that out.
No worries. Yeah, but it's kind of interesting because it's applicable everywhere. I mean, it's
Hmm.
not just presenting stuff, or it's then you actually don't have to work that hard at communicating because your sense of presence with the people or the person is there and they get it even without the words.
And when you said that too, I know that when I go into, I don't know, it could be a supermarket or it could be, anywhere I go, it's like that moment where I say hello to someone really from that space. They're like, oh, like you interrupt that automatic pilot of just, good morning, good afternoon. And you're like, oh, hi, how's your day? And they're like, oh, you notice me?
Yeah.
You're talking to me. And it creates such a different connection for the
I
rest
know.
of whatever your interaction is with that person.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it can be life-changing for people too, because it's what I've noticed is people have forgotten that.
Mm, yeah. Wow, especially living in the time period that we're on where we receive so much information that there's no quote unquote need to engage or interact, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And that willingness to engage and interact is different now and such a valuable product. So I wonder what is available or actually being asked of us even more now, especially with all the artificial intelligence coming out, right? I mean, so as you have more of that, it's like what we uniquely have is that presence that can be so different, that energetic, beautiful being of gifting and receiving.
Yeah. And I kind of just to get a little bit off topic, but I kind of get it's a thing that people are craving the most is that presence. Like literally it's the what's missing in this picture, and it's that presence and the connection that when you can get to be that with people, it kind of melts their entire world.
Yeah,
Hmm. Very different.
very, very different. And I ask myself, I mean, what kind of world would I like to see? And what can I choose today in all my interactions, right? Um,
Hmm.
might be with my plants. This morning I did a pile of dishes, all of that, but it's like that's actually my presence with my space. Like I can
Hmm.
actually feel my space, be grateful for that as things get shined and, so it's like we get to enjoy so much on this planet. And if we weren't presenting from the image or engaging from the image or from the automatic pilot, like how much more fun could we have in everything we choose?
I know. And it's and you even when I think about when you say that, like having done presentations and
Mm-hmm.
be so worried about getting it right. And then at the end of it, you go, okay, and before you go into like the whole judgment thing about did they hear it? But it's kind of like, did you have fun?
Yes.
Like, does it ever like go, oh, was that fun? Or was I just like so busy not having fun trying to get it right that they missed the fun part of the thing that they've been waiting to do for such a long time?
Yes, that. Yes, that totally, Terry. You reminded me of a story I often share, and that was that I was going up on stage to open up an event we had in Brazil, an Access Consciousness event. There was like 1,000 people live and another 3,000 online. And as I'm walking up to stage to open up the beginning on the very first morning, my heel gets caught on that last step right before I go up on stage. And I literally I'm catching my fall. I'm going down. I catch my fall. I get back up and I'm on stage, right? Mic in hand. It was like,
Hi.
well, that's one way to get up on stage. And there's
Yeah.
infinite possibilities of other ways, right? But I had fun with it. And then I went on. And I remember one of my friends wrote to me, he's like, how did you do that? How did you just not like melt and freeze? I was like, I was willing to have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
And that's that piece, the willingness to laugh at yourself and play. And for me, Right Voice for You is one of those classes that that allow you to take many of these tools and through different activities and exercises explore those edges where you know can lose the significance or the judgment that's there and relax into showing up as you and have way
Mhm.
more fun no matter what you say or what you sing or what you write.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to hear you talk about that, making the grand entrance and and not making it like you like the recovery of it because it's like, here, I'm here anyway, not
Mhm.
making it a big thing. But I think that we live from the land of so much judgment and so
Yes.
much needing to be perfect so that people will never see the nooks and crannies of us being real.
Yeah. Yeah. That more of that. Because that's actually that is one of the beautiful gifts. So when back to that story that I was sharing, when I saw that gentleman sing and dance, and I was like, he was letting us see all of him. And that
Hmm.
moved me to tears.
Yeah.
That I thought, wow, I desire more of that in the planet. So thank you, Terry. Thank you
You're welcome.
for sharing what it is, what it's been like for you and the gift of that. And for those of you that don't know Dr. Terry Hope, look her up. She's done some incredible studies. And recently, you know, about a lot of access consciousness, the bars, and what it's gifting in schools, with athletes and businesses that truly will create more of this presence and engagement. And I would say a level of success that's available when you're being you. So,
Exactly. Exactly. And just take and all I'm going to say to the end of that is take one more step.
yeah,
Yeah.
and bring one more barrier down, and you'll be one more step closer to having that space of you. So, thank you so much, Terry. Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, no, it's great. I just so happy to contribute and really grateful for the tools. Really
Yeah,
grateful. My life is considerably different than what it would have been before I was introduced to them.
yeah. And
Hmm.
so, if we, you, anybody listening weren't holding back, what would you choose? What would you know, if you were willing to let go of the doubt, the fears, and just take that one more step and have way more fun than you think you should, what could you share out in the world? So thank you, Terry. And for those of you that have any questions
Thanks.
about Right Voice for You, you can go to the website, rightvoiceforyou.com, and look for a class near you. I know I'll be coming out to Toronto. I'll see you there, perhaps, Terry, out in your neck of the woods. I'll be
Sure.
in Atlanta and in Lima, Peru. This is a 3 day
Wow.
class, um, live only. So would love to have anyone and everyone. There's no prereqs, and invite you to these tools and you exploring and expanding way more in all areas of your life. So thank you so much, Terry.
You're
We'll see you
welcome.
all
See you
later.
soon.
All right. Ciao.